Welcome to the Spiritual Man and Nirvana. Selections from Theosophy's sacred teachings in the Key to Theosophy, Part 1 of 2, on Words of Wisdom. Madame Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, vegetarian, was born in 1831 into a noble family in Ukraine or Urain. As a child, young Helena displayed a gift for clairvoyance, as well as an interest in metaphysical phenomena. Years later, she traveled throughout Europe, the Middle East, and India, studying with various teachers and Sufi saints. Following the guidance of an Indian yogi named Mahatma Maurya, vegetarian, Madame Blavatsky co-founded the Theosophical Society. Theosophy, meaning divine wisdom, refers to knowledge that comes through spiritual experience rather than intellectual understanding alone. The Theosophical Society is dedicated to uplifting humanity through a realization of the oneness of life and the wisdom underlying all religions. Madame Blavatsky wrote several important books on Theosophy, including Isis Unveiled, The Secret Doctrine, The Key to Theosophy, and The Voice of the Silence. The Key to Theosophy unlocks the door that leads to a deeper study of Theosophy. In contrast to other Theosophy volumes, it is written in simple explanatory language. Readers are thus able to more easily understand its fundamental principles. Today, on Words of Wisdom, we invite you to join us for excerpts from the Key to Theosophy. On the various post-mortem states, the physical and the spiritual man. Inquirer, I am glad to hear you believe in the immortality of the soul. Theosophist, not of the soul, but of the divine spirit, or rather in the immortality of the reincarnating ego. Inquirer, what is the difference? Theosophist, a very great one in our philosophy. We shall have to analyze them separately, and then in conjunction. We may begin with spirit. We say that the spirit, or the Father in secret of Jesus, or Atman, is no individual property of any man, but is the divine essence which has no body, no form, which is imponderable, invisible, and indivisible, that which does not exist and yet is, as the Buddhists say of nirvana. It only overshadows the mortal, that which enters into him and pervades the whole body, being only its omnipresent rays, or light, radiated through buddhi, its vehicle and direct emanation. This is the secret meaning of the assertions of almost all the ancient philosophers, when they said that the rational part of man's soul never entered wholly into the man, but only overshadowed him more or less through the irrational spiritual soul, or buddhi. We say that we only allow the presence of the radiation of spirit, or Atma, in the astral capsule, and so far only as that spiritual radiancy is concerned. We say that man and soul have to conquer their immortality by ascending towards the unity with which, if successful, they will be finally linked, and into which they are finally, so to speak, absorbed. The individualization of man after death depends on the spirit, not on his soul and body. Although the word personality, in the sense in which it is usually understood, is an absurdity if applied literally to our immortal essence, still the latter is, as our individual ego, a distinct entity. Inquirer, it is stated in Isis Unveiled that such planetary spirits or angels, the gods of the pagans or the archangels of the Christians, will never be men on our planet. Theosophist, quite right, they will never be men on this planet because they are liberated spirits from a previous, earlier world, and as such they cannot re-become men on this one. Yet all this will live again in the next and far higher Mahaman Vantara after this great age, and Brahma Pralaya is over. For you must have heard, of course, that Eastern philosophy teaches us that mankind consists of such spirits imprisoned in human bodies? Inquirer, yes, But this specialization has been in all ages the stumbling block of metaphysicians. Theosophist. It was the whole esotericism of the Buddhistic philosophy is based on this mysterious teaching. An ego who has won his immortal life as spirit will remain the same inner self throughout all his rebirths on earth. But this does not imply necessarily that he must either remain the Mr. Smith or Mr. Brown he was on earth, or lose his individuality. Therefore, the astral soul and the terrestrial body of man may hereafter be absorbed into the cosmical ocean of sublimated elements, and cease to feel his last personal ego if it did not deserve to soar higher, and the divine ego still remain the same unchanged entity. Inquirer. If the spirit of the divine portion of the soul is pre-existent as a distinct being from all eternity, what matters whether man leads a pure life or not, if, do what he may, he can never lose his individuality? Theosophist. Let me repeat to you again. Pythagoras, Plato, Timaeus of Locris, and the old Alexandrian school derived the soul of man, or his higher principles and attributes, from the universal world soul. Both the human spirit or the individuality, the reincarnating spiritual ego, and buddhi, the spiritual soul, are pre-existent. But while the former exists as a distinct entity and individualization, the soul exists as pre-existing breath, a portion of an intelligent whole. Both were originally formed from the eternal ocean of light, but as the fire philosophers, the medieval theosophists, expressed it, there is a visible as well as invisible spirit in fire. Empedocles firmly believed all men and animals to possess two souls, and in Aristotle we find that he calls one the reasoning soul and the other the animal soul. According to these philosophers, the reasoning soul comes from within the universal soul, and the other from without. Inquirer. Would you call the soul, the human thinking soul, or what you call the ego, matter? Theosophist. That matter, we say, is co-eternal with spirit, and is not our visible, tangible, and divisible matter, but its extreme sublimation. Pure spirit is but one remove from the no spirit, or the absolute all. Theosophist. That which is infinite and unconditioned can have no form, and cannot be a being. An entity is immortal, but is so only in its ultimate essence, not in its individual form. For more information, please visit Project Gutenberg, gutenberg.org.